Knowing. Hello everyone, this is David Allen. Today I'm joined by Cameron and Angelina Vuong. It's a parents in boxing special. A few people have asked me about parents in boxing. Parents in boxing, how many parents in boxing? Chris Eubank, Senior, we've got Bill Haney,
Conor Ben,
Nigel Ben. But Nigel Ben takes a bit more, he's a bit more relaxed with it,
Yeah.
more standoffish. So while we've got Cam from staying with us, I thought we'd get her on. Obviously, you're not an ex-boxer, are you?
No.
But she is a parent of a professional boxer, and a good one, Sammy Matchroom Sports. So I thought whilst she's here, we will discuss parents in boxing. So we'll start with you, Cameron. What's it like having? Because your parents are both pretty. No, I won't say hands-on with the boxing, but they're very supportive.
No, yeah, very supportive. Like, I've always believed in us, my mum and dad, and I can't, like, we're a normal family, do you know what I mean? Don't come from money or nothing, but they've always worked hard to provide for us, and they've always made sure, like, I've had the best training gear I could possibly have, and my mum's always believed in us from day dot, so, my dad as well. My relationship's a bit different with my dad than it is my mum, but, no, she's backed us from day one, and
Mommy's boy.
And she's always supported us from the start. That's what I do it for, to be honest. Change my mum's life.
What do you think? Like you got Ricky Hatton, obviously with Campbell. Do you think that's easier or harder? You know, like we're saying with Campbell, same with Conor Ben, Eubank. They get like a step. They get like a leg up. But do you think that's a? Would you think that's a positive or a negative or both?
Both, I think, good and bad. I think there's positives to it. Like you look at Adam Hamed, our mate. You start off right at the top, don't you? Like you're in the limelight straight away, and you get these big opportunities. But then it can have a negative effect sometimes. Like Adam or Conor or Campbell Hatton, people expect them to be as good as their dads, and there's that added pressure, which sometimes can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So there's definitely positives and negatives to it. I wouldn't change my situation. I like it how it is, and I've built it from the ground up. So
The one question I always get, and this is for you, for both of you really, amateur boxing gyms, I would say, I've been in a lot of amateur boxing gyms, 80% have been, parents are banned from passing like the door or, so Berkeley, where were we boxing before Berkeley? Empire.
School of Boxing,
So were you allowed in them gyms? Neither?
No.
Neither?
Neither, no.
I would go early sometimes, like 5-10 minutes, just so I could like sneak in and just like watch the last 5 or 10 minutes. But no, you weren't really like, if you were clocked, it was like out. Like you weren't allowed in, and certainly weren't allowed in Berkeley either, were you?
I can't imagine parents in Berkeley, no.
No. But sometimes it was nice to have a sneak peek.
My dad was a professional boxer, boxer England amateur, good pro. So different for me. Like my dad's like, do this because this is how it's done. Your dad never boxed.
No, but he still like do this.
What kind of is he like no, you should do it like this still. He never boxed, because we're all different, aren't we? My dad was a nightmare, but he boxed.
My dad is a nightmare, and I love him a bit. But Dad, you'll be watching, you do me head in. But like,
he's a subscriber to the channel.
Mine started.
Thank you.
Mine started when I was a kid playing football. Before I boxed, 5-year-old. If I made a bad pass or I did something bad on the pitch, I was looking to the sideline to get his approval. If I did something good, I was looking to him.
That's the same with boxing.
Not the same with boxing. At the start, it was if he ever came in early or, like for me, the relationship I've got with my dad. Like when you're growing up, your dad's your hero, and all you want to do is make you like for me anyway. Yeah. My dad was my hero, and you think they're the hardest or whatever. You think they're the best thing in the world, don't you? So I always just wanted to make him proud and impress him really. Even when I first started with the boxing, I'd feel the pressure if he was watching us. If he was ever watching us spar, if he could get in the gym, I'd be like, "Oh, my dad's watching." Do you know what I mean? I need to perform. But over time, you start to care less and less about that, don't you? Like he always used to say, it was like, if you can't perform in front of me under the pressure, how are you going to be able to perform in front of the likes of Eddie and people like that? So I think the pressure's good in a way. Like it's made us what I am now, but he's still a nightmare. He still tries to tell us what to do, and I think you should do this. And although he's never boxed himself, he has watched a lot of it. You know what I mean? I've been doing it since I was 10-year-old, and that's sort of how we used to bond. We used to sit and watch boxing every night together. And it was something we used to bond over for a long time, really. So I think he does miss it. He misses his being home. I think we don't really watch boxing together anymore. But when I go home now, I don't really want to speak to him about boxing. Do you know what I mean? I think more now. I just want to spend time with him as a son, not like
No.
I don't want to.
I think with my dad, yeah, you know, when I retired for a bit, we never gotten better.
No.
I retired for like 6 months. Me and I was like, wow, we've got a dad.
Yeah.
Because it was, for me and him, like, obviously because he boxed as well, a bit different. You and your dad kind of different because my dad boxed and that. We never spoke about anything other than boxing for 10
That's
or
what I
12
mean.
years. It was like, so like people have said to me like, oh, like my dad's a bit pushy, or not saying yours is,
Yeah.
or mine was, but like how do you go back to being father and son? Because when you're boxing, and it takes over your life, don't it?
That's what frustrates me, though, innit, man?
Yeah.
Like when I come home, I say to him like,
Yeah,
can we just not speak about
Yeah,
boxing?
but they're both so competitive. So now they play darts together, and that's a big competition. Then they went on a 6-mile run together. They're both so
You
competitive.
beat him in the run though, didn't you? Yeah,
He's old, though, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a big. He subscribes, you know.
I know.
Tell me that he watches.
Yeah.
So moving on. So do you enjoy the boxing? Do you go and watch every fight?
Yeah, I love the boxing. Like, I can count on one hand how many amateur fights I missed.
And I'm sure
Like-
about 70 odd.
Yeah.
74.
So
All
like,
over down the country and everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everywhere.
the only time I missed was like if I was at work, like if I couldn't get the day off or whatever.
You missed the first 2 fights in the whole box cup because you were at work. She came for the final. Missed Monkstown final. Other than that, I struggle to think.
What's your favourite fight that he's had?
I mean, it's amateur. It's got to be when he won the national title.
Because I think it's nice. People watching this, it's nice like to remember that.
Because
It's nice, that.
he wanted it for so long, and I knew what it meant to him. So it was like,
Just before the ABAs, I put down they packed in me.
yeah.
I was done with
We've
boxing.
had lots of ups and downs, but like he's
It's that kind of
always
slow,
stuck it out.
isn't it? It's hard. It's
And it
hard
was my
to-
mum
hard.
who talked us round really because I was done really. The Christmas, December 2022, I said that's it now. And then Berkeley went, we're going to Tenerife. And I didn't really want to go, and I had a certain trip booked. I had a trip booked anyway over the Christmas, and my mum said just go to this camp in Tenerife and have one last pop at it. And I felt as if I'd lost like my ability, mate. It was mad, like my head was like gone over it because I'd lost to someone terrible in the CYPs the year before. So I was going to pack in boxing, but she told us to go on this camp. I had my first spar. I sparred terrible. I went back to the hotel room. I was crying. I'm face thankful. I was looking at flights home. I said, Mum, I said, I've lost it. I don't know what it is, but it's gone. She said, no, please just stay there. She said, like, see the rest of the camp out. And she says, you can do it. You'll win the ABAs. Ended up sparring 2 days later. I sparred really well, and I felt like that. I had my spark back, and then I did. I went on, won the ABAs, won the 3 Nations, and every year I'd get beaten in the final on a 3-2 split. 4 or 5 finals I've been in. But back to the dad thing, like, I've grown up, like, my dad we used to always tell us, like, don't cry. Like, so I grew up not being allowed to cry. He'd tell us off if I'd cry. So every time I'd lose an amateur fight at an amateur show, you see kids cry. I'd never cry after I got beat, but little Ritual won it. Like, I'd go in, we'd put the collar on the dog.
Go
As
for
soon
a
as we
walk.
went for a walk, boom, I'd burst out into tears. Like, from losing, do you know what I mean? But my mum's always supported us from day dot, and if it wasn't for her, I probably would have packed in. Like, we used to work together, me and my mum, at Envision at a factory at Nissan. So we're dead close on.
Yeah.
What was the difference between, because obviously Cam's your eldest, so Leighton had a few fights.
Yeah.
What was that like? Obviously, because Cam, were you good? Were you always pretty good from being a kid? Was you winning bouts and stuff? So
Yeah.
what was it like with the little one boxing? Like different. And as a brother as well. Well, that different. Having a little brother that box.
I think, but I probably treat Leighton a little bit younger because he's like the baby, but like he's nearly 17, but he was really good at the boxing. He started a little bit later than what Cameron started, but then obviously we had the whole COVID thing, so the gym was closed. And then when he went back to it, I think like for Leighton used to say like everyone expects us to be as good as Cameron, and I think he had that pressure from like an older brother. And then like I think he felt like he was behind for his age because obviously because of COVID he felt like he was behind where Cameron was at that age, and he used to like the training and the sparring and stuff, didn't he?
You just want to spar all the
I
time.
mean, he
Were
just
you
wanted
were
to
you
spar
ne-
all
were-
the time.
Was you say Your last pro fight or Leighton's first amateur fight, what were you more nervous for?
He was terrible.
Leighton's first amateur.
For
He
nerves?
used to be terrible. He was worse than me and his dad.
I'm pacing the
For
room,
nerves.
me.
And he was
Really,
making
yeah.
me nervous because in his
Was you
amateur
a
fights,
nervous watcher then when Cameron and his brother were boxing?
Not
when
me,
Cam-
she was with my brother.
Not
Really?
because he made us like that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, now
Shit, I remember walking out as a kid, right? In Blythe, boxing in Blythe, what's the club? Side club, boxing Blythe side club, right? I'm walking out, 11, 12-year-old. Woman stood up ringside going, ooh, 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 and I was like,
That was
oh
me.
my.
Yeah.
Literally, honestly, she just goes mental for it. But like, people ask us all the time, does your mum watch? I can never watch. So she's less nervous than my dad.
Because like even his first amateur club, like I know his coach.
But she's deluded though. She thinks I'd beat Floyd Mayweather. She watches some of the greats on the telly, and she goes, "You beat him." And I'm like, "Come on."
That's nice. It's nice though.
Yeah, she believes in us. That's all. She believes in me more than me, which is nice. Do you know
But
what I mean?
no, like I know his first amateur coach would never have put him in the ring if he didn't think he was ready, and I think I've always had that in my head, like. His coach wouldn't put him in the ring if he didn't feel ready, and people ask that all the time, but I think I've always just been confident in his ability, and people always say, oh, he's so good looking, like, why is he boxing? And I'm like, well, his face will stay like that if he moves his head properly, won't it? And like, they just think I'm mental because I don't like to miss it, and I never wanted them to look back and think, oh, my mum and dad never came to watch us. Like, if you're gonna have kids, you've just got to go with like what they're good at, and like Leighton chose to pursue the football over the boxing, so I try and go to all his football games as
Do you
well.
get nervous when he's playing football?
Not really. I mean, I've seen some bad tackles and stuff, but not really. No.
Not the same, no. It's not one-on-one though, is it?
No.
It's that one-on-one.
When I was boxing at 4E, round 7, 8, when I was
Yeah.
sitting in
Do we
the
get
corner.
nervous?
His dad was having kittens.
I was thinking though, I remember thinking in the fight, sometimes I drift
Yeah.
off, I'm thinking, my mum and dad will not be liking this. Like, when you catching this, I thought, oh, my mum and dad will not be liking this.
Yeah, I think your dad was worse than me.
But your dad, I fight with my dad, like, he annoys the life out of me. But it's because he cares, really.
The same with me.
But with my dad, it's like, they just don't put it across in, he don't put it across in a way that he puts this thing to me, I just thought, if you said that in a different way, I could respect that and
Yeah.
we could get along
Yeah,
so
that-
well.
That's the thing with my dad, like, he can be, what he's trying to say is positive,
It's just the way
but he's
he
saying it
says
in a negative way,
Mm.
so it gets me back up, and I'm like, now I'm going to do the opposite.
I'm 10 years older than you, and I still struggle to take anything off my old man.
That's what I
Because
mean.
he's my dad.
Yeah.
If he says something to me, I'm like,
If I had the
I
collar
will-
on the dog and I was about to walk out the door and he goes, go and take the dog out, I'll take it off.
Yeah.
Sorry, Frankie.
Well, that's
I'm getting
that's at 32, I'm still the same.
Yeah.
So,
But then if I asked him to do it or come for a walk,
I don't know
he'd
what
be
it is
okay,
though.
well.
Like, I think at a young age it was the pressure of him, and I grew up a bit scared of him. I don't think it's a good thing, but you know, in case I was going to get a clip or whatever. But obviously, you can't really do that nowadays.
Did you watch the Eubank interview? I'm trying to ask
Nah,
him,
I didn't watch it.
He said something about getting his dad to get back in touch to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he wanted. I seen the thumbnail and he said he wanted to come back, but. I love my dad a bit, but I think a lot of people like you and your dad, they clash, don't they? And
If you got, I just think if there was no boxing, would I talk to my dad anyway? But then I think, but then if there was no boxing, would we get on better?
you probably
Boxing
would
was
get on
never a thing.
Yeah.
We'd probably get on better.
See, I think before I boxed,
But what would we talk about?
I remember before I boxed, going and watching my dad play football, and then it was just boxing wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
But then,
Do you remember life before boxing?
yeah,
Yeah.
stand outside the bookies waiting for me. Yeah, I do a bit, but football, it was all football
Yeah,
then, do you know what I mean?
football,
That was
yeah.
my first dream when I was a kid,
Playing football.
playing
Yeah.
football.
It's difficult because I'm a parent. I can't wait for my kids to do something like football.
Yeah, see, like I hated my dad coming to watch, didn't I?
Really?
When as soon as my dad come to watch play football, like I'd have a
In the early days, like your dad played Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah,
so
so
it
he
was
never
me
used to
who,
come.
Oh,
it was
really?
me
Oh,
that
well,
used
you
to
So you
were
never
never
had a
on
stink
there.
at me. Mum would say, "Oh, you played
Well-
alright." But it's good though. Like I think that's one thing. Like because of the added pressure on my dad. Now I think the way I got out of that rut of the pressure from him being there is like I genuinely put more pressure on myself now.
No.
So the pressure of him being there is nothing compared to the pressure I put on myself.
So finish off. Do you want to tell your dad anything before we go? It's easy.
United the other day.
But you love him.
I love you, Dad. As much as annoying as you are.
Hi, Dad.